very name above 10,000 itself attracts people to a new experience. Above 10,000 feet means you are almost at tree line, snow line. Very rarely would individual in their normal lives ever go up beyond 10,000. This particular experience of high altitude Himalayas is also very important, not just as a South Asian living in the subcontinent, but even as a global issue, partly because the Himalayas are what we call them the third pole, and all the major rivers of East Asia, South Asia all emerge from either the Himalayas or the Tibetan plateau, and they are extremely fragile. I think we have this sense that the Himalayas are immovable and massive and forever. But as we learn more about it and the impact that human impact is having on these fragile ecosystems, it's a very important thing for people to appreciate. Apart from the majesty and the excitement of being in the high Himalayas, understanding its natural history, cultures and people, and that is part of this pedagogical perspective that we hope to bring into this experience with young people.
The feeling of like not being able to do it, it just made me want to like cry. I was just like, okay, don't cry because you have to go down there, and if you're crying you can't see properly. So I realized that instead of having like a little few small steps, it's more important to have like confidence and to like pass it through.
The ice scared me because I feel like from last year also I still had that fright where I will not be able to plant my foot in properly. Though it was easier this time, I did have a like slight bit of hesitation as I was walking on it, but it was still fun and interesting. But I think once I got to the second snow bridge, it was a lot easier.
This might be too much information, but I kind of ended up wiping my ass with bichu booty. I mean, I thought, you're in the wild. So if this is how people back then did it, I could do it too. But then the thing is, I did not know that stinging nettle that I used, and really hurt me.
All the technology and the urbanized industrialization brings as advantages to our lives, but it also makes life extremely predictable, or at least we want it to be predictable, because that's how our sense of time and pace of our urban lives are. The Above 10,000 workshop hopes to provide, even if for a brief period of time, in a sense force people to remain in this wild natural landscape for a period of time. And it's not a hit and run kind of tourism activity that usually people end up doing. So it's not tourism, it's travel. For that you have to be far more observant, both of people and land. And you yourself are placed in this kind of an environment for a longer period of time.
I think Above 10,000 has gone, like its name says, above and beyond to teach me so much, not just about trekking and the technicalities of surviving in the wild, but about companionship, about feeling absolutely liberated when you're at that peak. And I've also learned so much about film, journaling, ecology and the environment.
When you shift and you come into a very natural environment, first you're humbled. Things change rapidly and very fast. Weather is unpredictable. There are tough situations that you find yourself in. And I think that's a very important place for young people to be in order to remind themselves that they're quite capable of literally being agile on their feet. Media is very powerful. The point is how to get people to do more sensitive, nuanced stories that don't just gloss over this desire in today's world of, it's sort of a selfie world that we want to believe in. If you want to go beyond that, then I think this kind of workshop is useful for people first to sensitize themselves, and then how to look and see, and then how to record and document and tell stories more meaningful than what otherwise we would have ended up doing of just coming to mountains as a tourist and just taking our selfies and going back home and sharing it with friends and family.